Wednesday semi-final, of course, also in Germany. Borussia Dortmund taking on PSG. PSG, big favourites going into this side. Borussia Dortmund 2-1. Obviously, PSG favourites given their form coming into this. Jules, it should be fine, shouldn't it, for them over two legs?
I think it will be great. Really, I agree with Jan. I listened to what Jan just said at the end before I joined when he said that there's clearly two different teams for this Dortmund side, one in the league and one in the Champions League that has been able, since the group stage, really, the toughest group in the group stage, they've been able in the Champions League certainly to play better, to be more together. Even in the league, you see when they're not on top, when they're under pressure, those weaker moments, they usually concede. It hasn't been so much the case in Europe. So this is a different Dortmund side. It's even a different Dortmund side than the one that played against PSG, that lost in Paris and only drew 1-1 in Dortmund. It's also a very different PSG team than the one that they played back in September and back in December. It's a better team. It's a team that obviously went to Barcelona and win, and this time the second leg is in Paris. So I think, for me, Paris has to be slightly favourite. But they can't underestimate this Dortmund team that is much better, with even different player in Madsen and Sancho than the one they played before.
I think I totally agree in terms of the way the fixture is panned out for PSG. I think is much better. We saw that with the Borussia Dortmund Atleti game, which went I think favoured Dortmund. Not that Atleti were perfect; they certainly were not. But I think the way the fixture fell was good for them. And I think the same thing can be said.
You mean having the second leg at home?
Second leg at home. If PSG are smart in Dortmund, because I think we have a similar scenario to this game here, where Dortmund can be... And again, the two German sides have done amazing to get where they are, and I think it will be competitive. But I think if PSG are really smart and have a very good shape about them, I think they can pick Dortmund off in the first leg with their pace. And not just Mbappe, but with their pace in behind, across that front three, but particularly in the wide positions. And it just then depends how much Borussia Dortmund want to expose themselves at home. Because you have to some extent, take the initiative being the home side. You can't just sit in and say, right, it can't be too cagey, and that will open up. And we saw when it opened up against Barcelona, particularly at home, the mistakes were there, the pace was there, the running in behind was there, and I think that is going to be a big feature of this game tomorrow. Similar to it was when Kim made that split-second decision to step out. The space was there. It was exploited by two world-class players, and I think we might see something similar tomorrow in Dortmund.
How do they stop Kylian Mbappe?
Okay, all right. Well, thanks, Dan. It's a very easy question.
Oh, there you are.
Well, the truth of the matter is that I don't think they do. And here's the problem. And while we can tell ourselves, and it's a nice rhetoric and a nice narrative for Borussia Dortmund to believe going into this match, we're different in Champions League than we have been in Bundesliga. Okay. And that has been the case, and it has played out in terms of the performance and in terms of numbers. But you cannot ignore Luis Openda running circles around Borussia Dortmund this past weekend for Leipzig. You cannot ignore Xavi Simons doing exactly the same thing, running circles around this team defensively. And I know that Emre Can was missing and Savitzer was missing, but just that back line, how much they're exposed when you actually have real speed. So to your point, how do they stop Kylian Mbappe? Don't lose the ball in a bad area. Don't get open for counter-attack opportunity, because if there is a counter-attack opportunity and it's a speed matchup between Kylian Mbappe and the world, Kylian Mbappe is going to win it. Hummels and Schlotterbeck are not good enough in terms of speed over distance to keep up with Kylian Mbappe.
Jan, why is Ali wrong?
Because there is one Norwegian left in the tournament, and that's Julien Laurens, who they were saying at the press conference today is a pit bull in the team. So he has to stop Mbappe. But I see that point. Obviously, it's clear. I mean, the Leipzig game, I mean, that was the battle of the fourth position to be secure. Dortmund will now, because of their success in the Champions League, secure Germany at fifth place, so they will be in the Champions League. But I just hope that Dortmund, and I think that is their big chance, that they will go for it at home at Signal Iduna Park. We saw away in Madrid Athletic, they could have been 3 or 4 down after that first half. and then they came back, got a goal, and then it was an amazing game at home. And I just hope that is a big chance for Dortmund tomorrow. This is our chance. This is a semi-final of the Champions League. Don't kind of the risk is being calculating how you're going to do it. Then they will end up losing, because man for man, PSG is the better team. Man for man, they have a world-class player, one of the, maybe the best player in the world in Mbappe. And so I just hope that Dortmund will go for it and just risk it. And these away rules, it doesn't matter. They will go to PSG with a good result. They can think about Barcelona winning there and so on and so on. Just go for it. Be this free soul of playing that they've been in the Champions League, and then they'll be scandalous in the Bundesliga.
Is this tie over the two legs more about PSG not winning it as opposed to Borussia Dortmund being the better side, Jules?
Yeah, I think so. You're right. I think this is a good summary to put here. And not just PSG, but French clubs in general, when we are favourite, it's just we don't know how to do this. We don't have this kind as arrogant as we can be in normal life. We don't have that in us. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens, especially tomorrow, because I think tomorrow really is the key. I don't see them being able to go to Paris, for example, and win. However, if they take an advantage tomorrow at home with the yellow wall, with the stadium, the 80,000 people, etc., then it might be a different story next week in Paris. But yeah, you're right. It's the pressure, how you deal with the pressure. And Luis Enrique, I thought, was really good today in his press conference. And this is very much Luis Enrique's team, and this is Luis Enrique's season, and this is Luis Enrique's campaign. All of that. And it'd be very interesting to see if tomorrow we show the very likely lineup, and we will see if he sticks to it, or if, like he can do sometimes, a bit like Pep Guardiola used to do before, he's going to try to be too clever, because the pressure is also mounting. He knows that he's so close to a final, really, and they should go to the final. Let's see how well they deal with that, him and the players.
Let's take a look at everyone's predictions and as to who is going to go through. I wonder what Jan has said. Given what we've heard from him over the last 40 minutes. Yes, there it is. Everyone's going for a draw with the exception of Ali, who believes PSG are going to get the victory there. Jan, how smug will you be if you're right?
Oh, I will call you during the night. I will wake you up. I will talk to Craig, his neighbours. I will have the dogs going into his garden. I will do anything.
Beautiful.
I bought myself a big gun.
Wow.
I'll be waiting for
just
you.
For Norwegians.
just for people walking the dog.
Okay,
Generalisation.
that's for another day. Thank you very much, guys.